Howdy, partner. Welcome to one of the most northern parts of the United States of America. Travel with me upriver as we talk to a bunch of ladies and fellers and they share their tales of wit and wisdom. That's right, it's time again for Skagit Storytellers.
With Liz Duffy. All right, thank you. I love you.
I love you.
Bye. Thank you, Quinn, for being patient.
Oh, that's my middle name.
Patience?
Yes.
You and I have been speaking for 10 minutes while I figure this out, and I feel that we could probably fill hours without even touching on music. The stories that you just told.
I can talk.
I was like, aren't you a musician? Are we going to talk about music? Anyway, I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. I've been around the block, over the block, under the block.
All right. Well, I like to start with talking about
word of prayer.
How we met. I think I probably just met you at a show.
Yeah, you were, yes. And I'd heard your name and what you were doing. And I think Shane was, saying like, hey, Liz does this. And she, you just kind of, you were like a new band that just kind of came into the scene and was like making waves.
As Miguel says, I inserted myself everywhere.
Yeah, and Miguel, he did that. It's so fun seeing, we've been around the block so long, 29 and a half years, and it's fun seeing other musicians and bands coming up. Like when I met Miguel at band camp a few years ago, I thought he was just a friend of a friend walking around quietly playing acoustic guitar, Well, then later on, he's on stage and melted my face. I'm like, hey, that was a pretty good trick you pulled. And we're friends. And it's just so fun to... I'm getting sidetracked now. I forgot what I was talking about.
No, it's okay.
Carry on.
No, you're fine. No, I always like to start, too, with finding out, hey, Quinn Thompson, you live in Anacortes?
Yeah, I'm from Conway, but I worked in Anacortes for years and lived out there for years. I've been out there over 30 years. My lovely wife... precious moment, Dove, Tracy DC Hot Pants, has been out there forever. She grew up in Cornet Bay, and as you know, we have two cats.
Yes, you do.
Yes, and they have very long names also.
I was just thinking, do you have nicknames for everybody?
Yes, okay. So they're sisters, and we have Angel Joyce, because she's an angel, she's a joy, and she's choice. Squishy Head, Walnut Brain, and then we have Monster Beth, Jello Salad, Grunty McGrunterson, Mayor of Grunterville, Ping Pong Ball Brain.
And those are your two cats.
Yeah, and the song Two Cats was written about two previous cats that were brother and sister that they had both kind of passed away at the same time. They only lived a couple years, and they didn't really get to hear the song. But the other cats, we got the same place on M Avenue, so they're kind of related.
We were doing our radio show, and I said, Olive, give me a song to play. It was near the beginning. I said, just tell me your favorite song in the Valley. And you know what she said? Mert's Taxi.
All these songs, these things I speak of are true. And
is it actually a taxi service?
Yes, 708-6358. It's 360. Mert and his twin brother Larry. Mert has Mert's Taxi. His real name's Gary. His brother's name's Larry. So, yeah, it's a true story. There's Mert's Taxi. He's got a fleet of taxis, and him and Larry drive around, and they got other. So everybody knows Mert, and he's a character in town. He pays all his taxes and collects battle axes. I've been in his apartment, and you always wonder, who buys these gas station battle axes and swords? Mert does.
Okay, now you're getting me sidetracked. Stop this. Okay.
Albino tigers.
But seriously, let's start from the beginning. Were you actually born in Conway?
No, they don't have a hospital. It's a very small town.
Okay.
5 miles south of Mount Vernon. Growing up, my neighbor was Jim Caviezel, the famous actor. Well, called him Jimmy then.
What has he been in that I would know?
He played Jesus Christ in The Passion of Christ.
Oh, that movie. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I was born in Mount Vernon. And my dad was a baseball coach at Skagit, and I was born during a doubleheader baseball game, May 9th, 1967, 5-9-6-7.
So your dad was at the game.
Yeah.
And your mom was in the hospital.
And then the team came and celebrate. So I grew up on the baseball field, and I'd go on tour with them in the bus, and they'd pass me around. And they called me Sumo Joe because I was chunky.
Did you grow up playing sports too?
Yeah, I played at Conway. That was kindergarten to 8th grade, very tight knit. So yeah, we did basketball, soccer, and softball. I set 5 track records. I had the most track records since 1935. And then they lost all the records when they remodeled. So you can't really verify it, but I know these things I speak of are true. Yeah, Mount Vernon. But my parents moved to Conway, lived in Mount Vernon on LaVenture from 67 to 70. Then they built a house on Hermway Heights up by Conway School by Lake 16.
How did your parents meet?
They met on a date. How did they meet? They met on a date. Geez, I don't even know the story. They met and started courting. And yeah, where did they meet? My mom was a stewardess. My dad had a Corvair. Geez, way to throw a curve at me, asking such a hard question.
Well, I told you before that when I think of Quinn Thompson, I don't even think of Fanny Alger first. I think of you taking pictures of your parents.
Yes.
I love that.
And like I said earlier, I always do that because they're, my dad's going to be 90, my mom's almost 86, and I never know if it's going to be the last time I see him. I try to get out there as much as I can, and so every time I get a picture, and then I always tell Pops, you're my hero. Growing up, it was Ace Frehley of, guitarist of Kiss and Evel Knievel, but then years later I realized, Pops is my hero. Growing up, there was a lot of, it was very strict and a lot of structure. But I softened up and I realized my dad's a hero and he's my hero, and it's hard to fill his shoes, like I was telling you all his accomplishments. And I'm I'm just Quinn.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have an older sister, Stacy. She lives.
She was in the Reckless.
Yes, the Reckless Spenders
with Rick.
With Rick, they were known for spending money recklessly. Yeah,
that's how the band died. They just lost too much money.
Yeah, she lives on Lusk Road up by Birds View Brewery, up there by Razor State Park.
Okay.
And then my youngest sister, Starla. She, her and her husband, Fast Eddie, they actually live with my parents. Which is nice. They get to keep an eye on them. I know it's very strenuous for them, but.
So growing up in a house with 2 sisters, were you guys all sort of musically inclined when you were younger?
Yes, we're like the mini Von Trapp family. So growing up in the Mormon church, we went on tour. Mom would play the organ. Stacy and Starla and I would start singing You Are My Sunshine. It didn't take long for Starla to start crying, and then my dad would get that wrinkled pit bull forehead look and come and grab her, and Stacy and I would continue singing. So
Why would she cry?
Scared. I mean, she was only
just nervous.
3, you know.
Oh.
So, so she so yeah, doing that, performing at an early age. And the thing about it is I can't sing, I sing like a neutered werewolf. Stacy plays the flute, the guitar, the piano. My mom plays the organ and piano. My dad, he plays guitar. He plays these cowboy thumb chords. He used to be able to do like a 4-hour set, and yodel. Dee-oh-lo-dee. And Starla, Stacy played the clarinet. Starla played the flute and piano. And then I played the trumpet, like I said, before I hawked it and bought an 8th. Oh, wait, I can't say that, can I?
No, you can. You can say anything on here.
Oh, okay. Nobody knows what an 8th is. Yeah, so I played trumpet and then started playing guitar. But my older sister had an electric guitar, and so I would wear it. For a year, I just wore it because I thought, this talent was going to come from the sky, and I was going to be like Jimmy Page or Ace Frehley. And then I realized, no, I have to learn how to play it because it looked good on me, but I didn't know how to play it, And then I learned how to play it.
How did you learn? Just practicing one song over and over again?
Just making up my own stuff, using one of those plastic bread clips as a pick, and then I took lessons at Hugo Helmer from Tom Gustafson. So did Shane. And I did that for about 6 months. I really went practice, but I learned a blues scale. I learned the 5 open chords and how to play a bar chord. I learned how to play Turkey in the Straw. And then my teacher wanted me to learn California Dreamin' by the Mamas and Papas, which I thought that was weak sauce because it was 1980 and I wanted to learn Shook Me All Night Long. He said, bring a cassette in. And he listened to it and put his head down. He said, that's what you want to learn? I'm like, yes. And he showed me how. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is all I need. So I learned how to play that, and then I quit. And then I read an article in Hit Parader, which devastated me. It was K.K. Downing, the guitar player Judas Priest, had been an accomplished guitarist since he was 14. I'm 14. I'm not accomplished. So for 5 years, I just quit. I figured I better work on radio. My dad was involved in radio also. So I thought my best chance in the business is to do radio and design album covers. So when Shane and everybody and Tim and Jerry and Henry and all those guys, they were already in bands. But so there's a 5-year gap where I could have been there, but I wasn't. So I started late in getting into bands. I was like 24. And that's kind of because that's when grunge hit. And it was a real galactic alignment back then because you had the Seattle scene exploding. Well, up in Mount Vernon, you had the snowboard scene blowing up worldwide. My best friends are touring the world. Craig Kelly, the godfather, the master of snowboarding, was winning vehicles. He was a 4-time, world champion. He's my best friend. He's my neighbor. They're changing the world. So I'm like, I gotta start a band, because it's like I said, these people around me, my neighbor is now a famous actor that I grew up with. Craig Kelly's changing the world. It's like, oh man, I'm missing the bus. I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. I got a bad bladder. What's going on now?
No, you're fine. You were talking about how you took that 5-year break. You read the article and you're like,
yeah.
Well, there's no point.
No,
this guy's a better guitarist than I am.
There's no point. So I just like.
So so you went into radio because your dad a DJ?
Well, my dad did sports broadcasting on the side also for 1430 KBRC. Him and Dennis Wills. They did that for years, and so like when it was really fun when Dad would be broadcasting. That meant that Mom, we could have breakfast for dinner. And so Mom would turn on the radio. We had one of those old school intercom radios throughout the house, where you could talk upstairs and downstairs. Mom would turn them on for about 10 minutes, and we'd hear my dad, it's halftime here at Burlington Edison where they're playing the Cedar Woolley Cubs and blah, 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 blah. And then she turned off, and we'd eat pancakes and eggs and bacon and thought that was really cool. Then later on, I became the engineer. They had a comeback tour. They did it for another year. But yeah, for about 18 years, he was on the radio. He was a coach, taught at Skagit.
And so you worked in the control room. You worked on the mic.
We'd go to games. We'd crawl up that janky ladder at Woolley here. And have to bring equipment up there. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he was in radio, and so I and everybody in the band, like Tim and Shane were into radio out of high school they took at Mount Vernon. You had radio broadcasting, which was a class, and I excelled in that. And I was the TA, teacher's assistant. Tim and Shane were a year below me, so I didn't have them in that class. But you had that opportunity, and then I worked at Caps. I got fired. But anyway, I thought radio was my best option. Jerry had a long career in radio, as did Kirk Tollefson, #1 fan, Kirk Tollefson.
Oh, yeah, I saw him on Friday.
And, and Tim and Shane were in radio, and that's how they met Jerry. And
so is that how you met Tim and Shane and all the family
I've known Shane since, 1973. I've known Shane for probably about 54 years. And Tim, I really didn't know Tim in high school. Tim had this Levi jacket, and it had buttons, band buttons. He must have had 400 buttons on that jacket, and they were all Chronicle. He had Rush. He had, so he was known as Tim Buttons. Not really, but some people call him Tim Buttons. But I knew who he was, and so Oh shoot.
And so when they were in radio, and this is when they had to start the fake band,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Did you join that
no,
one?
no.
Okay.
I mean, I knew about it, but I was out of the scene. Like in high school, growing up, I knew Shane from church, but then he was in Woolley here. I was in Conway, still going to church. He helped me on my Eagle Scout project. We were in scouts together, and then high school, we hung out with different people, and then years later, I started going to stagnant water shows, and then we reunited, and we have our own language growing up in the church. There's a lot of we have our own language, but it was really fun reconnecting with them, and then.
And so you watched them play in stagnant water, and
Yeah.
did that sort of like get you going again?
Yeah.
Like, I have to learn to play.
Yeah, and I had other friends in bands like Dice. Dice was a band that started as kids, as 13, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and they changed a lot of lives. Matt Phillips, he was the drummer, and I've known him as long as Shane, since 72, 73. He was a drummer, and that got me excited. Like, I get to go hang out with them, because I know Mike Shira, who went to church, and I know Matt Phillips, and then I met Nick Denke and Robert Copeland. So I'm like, wow, I know these guys. Yeah, I'm in the scene. Yeah. So it was real interesting. And now I forget. I'm sorry. I have that, what's it called, attention detention deficit order, or
No, you're good.
Okay.
That's my job. Keep us on track.
I know. I get
No, so you
sidetracked.
watched the guys in Stagnant, and that sort of reinvigorated your
Yeah.
love of like, I got to learn to play the guitar.
Yeah, because and then I started my own band.
Oh, what band?
Well, the first one was called Speed Jacker, and we played in my garage. And
And who was in that band?
It was Steve Murray on drums, Steve Johnson, who could actually play, and then Dan Donnelly, who was my best friend. He's a pro snowboarder back in the day that changed lives. He was bass player, and then I was rhythm guitar, and nobody wanted to sing, and I can't sing, so I had a little boom box, and I would hang it on a rope, and then the little mic, which is about the size of a BB, I would have that right by my mouth, and then I would sing. And we were very raw. I think the first song we did was Judge Lance Ito Eats Burritos. He was in the OJ trial thing. And then I think we had a song called Damn It, Chachi, No. But we did one called Stew, about Matt Stewart. He was a bartender, and that was a big hit. And that band didn't last long, and then I started another band called Naked Boy, because we had a friend that, for some reason, you go to his house and he's walking around naked. It's like, dude, stop it. So, and that was me and Steve Johnson and Kirk Levesque, and then Steve Johnson, we were starting to get gigs, and he didn't want to play live because he said we weren't good enough. So we got the Burger Boys. They were a couple. They came together. It was Doug Walden, who passed away a while back. Doug, RIP. And then Pete Nelson, who was the drummer of Blue Green, which was after Stagnant Water. It was Matt Leslie, Pete Nelson, Shane, and why can't I think of the other person in there? Oh, Chad Metcalf. And so
And so you got the drummer Pete from
Pete was in Blue Green, and he played guitar in Naked Boy, and they were the Burger Boys, because they want to get burgers. And I'd go to their house and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, we're gonna go to Chuck Wagon and get burgers." "Oh, great, I'll be right over." But we never went, because we'd sit in the garage and drink vodka crayons for hours, and we'd never go there. But so that was.
Then after Naked Boy,
that kind of dissolved around the same time Blue Green dissolved. Shane played bass in Blue Green. I played guitar in Naked Boy, and so that kind of broke up. I was the self-proclaimed manager of Blue Green, but I didn't do anything. And so Shane and I decided to start a band. Let's start a band. And it's like, okay, so this is back in 96, 97. So it's, and I'm in Anacortes, Shane's in Burlington. It's like, okay, we'll meet at the farmhouse, because that's a good meeting spot. So we meet at the farmhouse, and we get a beer coaster, and we borrow a pen from the waitress. Okay, write the name of a band of a band you want to call it. And so Shane wrote down 10%, hence tithing, and I wanted to call it the Jocks, and then we were going to call it 10% Jock. But then I was reading some literature, and I said, no, we're going to call it Fanny Alger. And it was supposed to be a joke, because it was just going to be Shane and I and a drum machine. And I said, well, who's going to play bass and who's going to play guitar? And Shane said, we'll switch. We'll both play it. Yeah, we'll switch. Yeah, you can play bass. I'll play bass. We'll switch. Shane's a better guitar player, but anyway. So that's how that started. And we got before we could even really have a practice with the drum machine, Matt Leslie had always said, I just want to play drums in a punk rock band with you. Well, he got word of it, and so now he's in the band. We're a three-piece. And so we were a three-piece for quite a while. And then Pete heard about it, and that'd be pistol packing, pill popping, pressure washing Pete, perhaps from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so he wanted to play guitar in it. So it was basically blue-green without Chad Metcalf, because he had got out of it and was going solo. So we were a three-piece for a long time. Pete would play with us for a while. We had some rotating members here and there. Everybody's been in the band, 15 years, 16 years. Jerry.
Was Tim in a different band? Is that why?
Oh, gosh, that's a whole...
He's going to be on. Don't worry.
No. Tim was in a band called Interceptor in high school, and he had straight hair. He had hair, and it was straight. But, Tim was in a bunch of bands. And
so he was busy.
Well, at that time, Tim was raising a family. Matt Leslie drummed with us for about 5 years. Our last gig with Matt was at Lake Oswego in Oregon, and we played with Tommy Two-Tone. You know Tommy Two-Tone?
It sounds familiar.
8675309. So he lived there. He got on stage, did some songs with us, and that was the last gig Matt Leslie did. And then we got drummer out of Bellingham, Johnny Cat, Jefferson Kyle, and he drummed with us for about 5 years, and then Tim, and it worked out good for Tim because the boys were older now, and it just worked out great. Tim's a great guy. Tim's solid. Jerry's solid.
How did Henry join the band? Who knows Henry?
Well, everybody knows Henry, and Henry, you got to have Henry on because you need about a week with Henry. Henry's so humble and modest, but he's from Bellingham, and Henry's older than us. He's like the Mick Mars, Motley Crue. He's a little old. He's 7 years older than me, but he had a big scene up in Bellingham. He got that thing rolling. He probably started the Posies, got them work going. But he had a big music scene, fabulous musician. And Shane had known Henry from him running sound and organizing gigs up at the 3B and the Up and Up, up in Bellingham. So Stagnant Water was always doing gigs, and everybody knew Henry. And so I didn't meet Henry till later on. And then we just, we were a three-piece, a four-piece, now we're a five-piece. Jerry joined us first, and then Henry, and then we got Tim. So Henry's been around the block, making his own scene up in Bellingham. Henry Sankowitz. I can spell it, but I'd have to look it up.
So, what year did Fanny Alger start? You said 96, 97?
Well, 97, because I was 29, turning 30. I was working on my first song called Knock It Off, Bert. And so, it's been about 28 and a half years, because I know we had practice. I was working on a song, living in Anacortes, and so I turned 30 around our first practice. So, rough. And our first album came out in 98. Yeah.
And you talked about how Tim was raising a family for a few years. How did you meet Tracy? When did you guys get married?
We got married 11 years ago on Valentine's Day. I won the lottery of love. Hi, Dove. And in fact, Tracy had this cool rental. She rented this house kind of out by Heart Lake on H Avenue. It's a really cool farmhouse. And we had there was this shed there, and we turned it into our own bar, and we actually got married there. And I had met her through a mutual friend. She was dating a friend of mine, Dave Babarovich, and so we were always hanging out. And then years later, I had broken up with a gal, and I'm like, I'm done. I've had too many failed relationships. I'm done, and it can't be me, And so I asked her out on a date, and the rest is history, and we have 2 cats.
And then remind me again, how does Ricky play into your family?
Ricky, so Tracy has a daughter, Tasia, a daughter, Tristan, and a son, Logan. And Tristan and Ricky are married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so he's my son-in-law. I'm his father-in-law. And so...
And does Tristan work at a coffee shop here?
Yeah, she works at Schaffner. Is it Schaffner?
Yeah, it's like a pharmacy, but also a coffee shop.
Yeah, she runs that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she lives in Anacortes. Her daughter lives in Anacortes, and her son and his wife and newborn Clara Irene, they live in out by Big Lake. And Tristan and Ricky have a 17-year-old daughter named Lexi Mae Vance, baby gazelle.
How did you mentioned before that you worked in appliance?
Yes, I worked.
Was that like your first sort of like career, I would say?
Oh God, no. I probably had 500 jobs before that, but no, in fact,
So while you're doing all this music, you're also working full time at Random.
When I was in the appliance business, that's when I started my first band. I wasn't working at the time, and I had to take Craig Kelly and Dan Donnelly to the airport with their surfboards because they were going to Belize or Costa Rica, someplace. And I was really bummed, because it's like they're touring the world, and I'd go on surf trips with them, and I'd go boarding and whatnot, But I was more a professional friend. Oh wait, I got sidetracked. What was the question?
We're talking about careers, jobs.
Yeah, so I'm taking him to the airport, and Dan's like, "You should get a job where you just like drive a white truck around." I'm like, "That sounds pretty cool." So I pull up to Lean TV and Appliance. They were looking for work, and I'm driving Dan's Jeep Cherokee, so I get the job, Well, next day I show up with my beat up '73 Chevy Love with 2 rotten couches in the back, and so I started my appliance career, and that lasted over 20 years. And so I worked for Lean TV and Appliance, and Jordan Bodie, and then my friend Evil Dave Squirrelface Chiselhead. He worked there too. I got him a job, and then the business shut down. He opened up Anaco Appliance in Anacortes, so I worked there, and that's a whole nother story. So yeah, I was involved in that for over 20 years. Then I quit that. Now I work for Ricky Snacks. He's got Total Home Service LLC out of Anacortes, so I work for him, and he keeps an eye on me. And if I say, he's my son-in-law, I'll say, "You're grounded," and he's like, "You're fired." Ricky Snacks.
How did he get into? Because the first time I saw him was in Fanny Alger. He'd always just be at shows, and he'd jump on the mic, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" Yeah,
he's a Viking. Ricky was in bands in high school and whatnot. I'm like 16 years older than him, 17. Yeah, he was in bands in high school, so he's always played music. And his band, We Were Heroes, they're playing at band camp.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah, Ricky.
That show at Buxton's?
Yeah.
Like they sort of, the only real story I heard before the show was, we haven't played in a long time, and we just got back together. So I'm thinking, you know what? Whatever they play, that's great.
Yeah.
This is just the first show. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so tight. They were fantastic.
Yeah, they were all worried about it. It's like,
no.
They used to tour. They'd go on tour, play.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah. They go to Vegas. And Ricky's got really scary Vegas tour stories. In fact, they all right here, they on their wrist, under their wrist, they all have the tattoo that says tour. Ricky's got scary, wacky stories of touring in Vegas and playing the whiskey and like Fat Mike of NoFX made him a ham sandwich. It's like, oh my God, this is nuts.
With the band We Were Heroes or another band?
No, We Were Heroes. Or
Okay.
maybe they were called Heroes Amongst Thieves back then.
Okay.
I can't remember.
They're so good.
Yeah,
I can't wait to hear that.
Ricky's very passionate and he gets sweaty, and I think he can change the weather with his attitude.
Well, actually, no. I think the first time I really interacted with him was at AmpFest. I was volunteering, and he did everything. I would see him on the stage, and I would see him run out and get some NA beers for people, and then I don't know, mow the lawn. Like he was everywhere.
He multitasks.
I see him at all those events.
And he does
now.
that when he drives too. He'll be eating almonds. He'll be texting. He'll be listening to the Mariner game. He'll be calling. He always wins contests on the radio for sports. He should be.
Oh, he does?
Oh, he knows the stats better than the broadcasters. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sports guys in music. I have to say, whenever we chat about music at a party, it's usually Pete Rubel from Bellingham.
Yeah.
He's the only guy that Spencer can talk to.
Yeah, Jerry Lee Steamer, Biff.
Okay.
Biff. Jerry's he's up to date on everything.
Okay, all right.
I know a little. Tim and Henry and Shane, they have other priorities.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I enjoy watching the Seahawks game. We just watched the preseason one. Well, she went to bed about halftime, but I at least watched the Mariner game or the Seahawks games.
Yeah, that was an interesting one because Spencer's a Raiders fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and so, the introduction of Pete Carroll. Very interesting.
Gino.
Yes.
Yeah. And
we'll see how it goes.
I watched the whole thing. It was like, and I didn't realize that there's no overtime in preseason because they kicked the field goal and then it's tied and there's 5 seconds left and then they called it. It's like, well, why did they call it? Because I don't know. I'll have to ask Jerry or Spencer Headband might know because there's 5 seconds left and you've seen it happen before where they kick and they run it back for a touchdown. So I don't know why they did that.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
You mentioned that your dad was a sports guy on the radio.
Yeah.
I always think I got this for Spencer.
Yeah.
And there's a slide whistle somewhere here.
Oh, slide whistles.
Just because I feel like that's what he was supposed to do. He's supposed to be like a morning radio DJ. Just that's how he acts on our show.
Uh-huh.
I try to keep it classy, talk about
Sure.
shows coming up, and then he'll just give me one of these.
Good. Do it again.
He's so funny. Okay, so from Fanny Elger, working in appliances, doing landscaping with Ricky, your family. I also noticed you brought a few pages. Is this a timeline of?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like I say, I'm an accident-prone Eagle Scout. I'm always prepared.
Okay.
I always have clipboards. I have notepads. I don't rely on my phone. I'm not going to enter important information in my phone. I just don't do it. I love atlases. I mean, don't get me wrong. I look at maps on my phone and play the global game with the cats. Stop. Oh, now we're in Sugar House, Iowa. We're in Sugar House, Iowa. I got to look it up. Oh, there's a cafe called Lily's. All right. No, I'm just always prepared, because if you ask me a question about any
Where
of
your parents met?
Well, yeah.
Just kidding. No, actually,
they had to have met in Idaho. I can't remember.
Oh, they're from Idaho?
Well, both. Yeah, all my relatives. All my relatives are from southern. All my relatives are from New Zealand or Idaho. In fact, my famous cousin that passed away, he played for the All Blacks rugby team. Sid Going, national hero. Look up the All Blacks. He's got a Wikipedia page. But
wow.
Yeah, Sid Going. And he had two brothers, but he was the most famous. And they have a coin for him, a national holiday. I got an autograph ball from him.
Really?
So all my relatives are. Yeah, I come from New Zealand, Idaho, or Conway.
New Zealand. That's a curveball I was not expecting. Do you know I lived in New Zealand for a year?
Which island?
I lived on the southern island. I lived on the northern tip of it, though, in a town called Nelson.
So do you know of Burt Munro?
No.
Okay, now look up the movie. It came out probably 20 some odd years ago with Anthony Hopkins called "The World's Fastest Indian." It's a true story of Burt Munro.
I've heard of that.
Fascinating.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'll check that out.
He's at the tip, the very
the southern tip of the Southern Island.
Yeah.
I mean, New Zealand is unreal. I feel like it's almost like if you take Canada and squish it down to a tiny island, that's New Zealand.
You know, that's what, like my buddy Dan Donnelly that would, tour the world snowboarding. He said the most beautiful place that compared to the PNW, the Pacific Northwest, was New Zealand. I had never been there. I had chances to go, but I just never did.
If you ever go, like, you'll go crazy on the flight. San Francisco to Auckland is 18 hours.
Oh, yes.
I thought I was living on the plane. Like, I was just almost hallucinating because it was just so... It's not natural to be on a plane that long.
No.
I had the best time, and they don't tip servers there, and they pay the minimum wage. So when I was there, I was working 60 hours a week and flat broke.
Holy pancakes!
This is also when I used to drink, so I'd also drank a lot of my paycheck away.
Yeah.
But no, it was the best year of my life. I was gonna go back too, because I was in Korea first. I went to New Zealand. I went to the Middle East for a couple months, and then I went back to Korea. And when I was in Korea, I was like, that's it. New Zealand's like my home. And I was planning on going. I had everything kind of lined up. And then I met Olive's dad, who's from Everett. So that's how I ended up here.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
And you're from, what was it?
Ladysmith.
Ladysmith.
Home of Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. My wife and I, a while back, watched this documentary on it. And it was Yeah, Ladysmith. Yeah, when you said Ladysmith, I'm like, I know where that's at.
I haven't seen that documentary, but I've heard about it. It's good. And then there's also a show on Hulu called Letterkenny. And it's just four main characters, 3 guys and a girl. And it's just like small town Canada. And the girl is also from Ladysmith, and I used to babysit her. It was just
Shut the front door.
It was just one time, but it counts.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
So I'm glad that you brought this. So I think of your parents. I think of art. So what's your art story?
Well, that's funny you ask because you can't see it, but I'll show you. We had one time the neighbor babysat us, Dale Hayton, and I was little, and he did this. He drew a circle, then he did a dot for an eye, a little thing for a nose, and that he made a face.
Okay. And
from that, it just went. I went like, wow. And then in church, my mom would, to keep me occupied. Because I have that attention detention deficit order, my mom would, I'd get the bulletin, the church bulletin, and there was a blank page on the back, and I'd ask my dad for a pen. He'd open up his jack, and he always had 5 pens, and he'd always do this, and then he'd hand it to me and then my mom would just always do like a squiggly thing, and then from there I would make something out of it, and then it just progressed into cartooning. I always did cartooning. I didn't pay attention in school. I did cartooning. I mean, I was great being a Thompson. You were good at sports. All my relatives, legendary. So I was good at sports. I was good at music. I was good at geography. That's about it. Radio broadcasting. So in high school, I was good at radio broadcasting. I did track, and.
But your grades weren't anything to write home about.
No. I didn't get the smart genes. Yeah. I guess I used the backside of my brain.
Did you Did you just kind of doodle for fun?
I just doodled for fun. I excelled in art. And I had my art teacher. First one was Gordon Fisher. He was this older guy, and then there was a younger teacher after him when I was a sophomore, named Craig Meldal. And I never stuck to the curriculum. I would always do my own thing. I'd do big paintings and collages. And he said, like, hey, I'll give you a C, but you're not doing what you're supposed to. I'm like, I don't care. So he just would always give me a C. And for doing cartooning, I started, adding color to them. And then I started making, wacky faces. And then I kind of, I do so many different things. Like right now I'm really into painting wildflowers, but then I'll turn around and start painting aliens, and I'm into cyclopses, and I'm doing scenery. I'm pinballing all over the place.
Is it like a sort of like a meditative thing that you do? Like it sort of relaxes you?
Well, I create my own deadlines. Like during COVID, I started fixing vacuums, and I'd make my own work orders and deadlines and receipts, and my wife and I like to kayak. I I was really involved for 15 years with the moped gang, the Vicious Badgers. I'm kind of retired from that now. I collect pocket knives. I'm into metal. With my wife and I, we metal detect. I got a million hobbies. My wife gave me a bunch of seeds. Now I'm into gardening. I'm just all over the place. I'm always in a rush to do nothing.
I like that. You're always in a rush to do nothing.
Yeah. If I'm bored, it means I've finally accomplished all my chores. You make a list. You got to work before you play. You make a list, you cross it off. It just kills me to go, I'm going to go play and then mow the lawn. No. You mow the lawn, then you play. Structure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you like Spencer, where you, like, if you hear a neighbor mowing his lawn, you
Well, it was bad at our first the house at Tracy, when I moved into to the house by on H Avenue. There was this older gentleman named Ian Muntz, and he would start mowing the lawn, and it's like, damn it, I had a big lawn, and so we'd start mowing, and if we were mowing facing each other, we wouldn't look at each other. So it's like he'd start the mower up. I'm like, damn it, because I called our lawn the Great Plains. It was like, oh no, it's gonna take. I could do it in a little over an hour, but when I was drinking, it could take 5 hours to mow. The lines would be like a snake.
But you're an artist, so that was
I
probably
don't know
intentional.
If I'm an artist or autistic.
You mentioned drinking. Do you mind talking about your recent sobriety?
Oh, yeah, it'll be 1 year, August 22nd. I quit drinking. I had a horrible gig at band camp and let the guys down. I was known for being a loose cannon, and it's always much nicer to have the lads happy and play a good set than play a crappy set and let the guys down. So it's
well, I'm guessing you probably didn't realize you let them down. Did they sort of let you know?
Oh, I mean,
or did you see video?
Oh, I knew I did bad. But yeah, no, it's a lot better now. I just quit, and in 1 year I did have a sip of a margarita. I think we were at Buxton's at that gig, and Tracy, who drinks like a hummingbird, she said, "Oh, this is a good margarita," and I took a sip and said, "Yeah, that's good." But no, I just quit cold turkey, and
you didn't go into any kind of program or didn't attend?
I didn't want to do that because I figured, you know what, my time doing that, I could spend on doing art and other things,
Yeah.
Because in high school I went to rehab, but rehab's for quitters.
How long did that rehab last when you were?
Well, it was 21 days, but they released me early because I wasn't court ordered, and I did some sketchy things down there. Anyway, I brought some.
They're like, just leave.
They needed the bed space, and so I just went there because I didn't have to make up schoolwork. It was an excuse to just go on an adventure.
Yeah,
and it was.
Yeah, I've been sober for 8 years, and
that's what I heard. Yeah,
I honestly just quit because I was running, and the older you get, the worse your hangovers get.
Yeah.
So I'd have a couple IPAs and wake up just head pounding. I'm like, I can't go for a run, and I really wanted to do this marathon. It was the only marathon I was ever going to run in my life, so I wanted to do it well. So my sister, she was training in Canada, I was training down here, and then we were supposed to run this race in, I want to say Kelowna. But there were wildfires. The race actually got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
We went to her house on Vancouver Island, and I said, let's just, map out 26 miles. We got to do this. I'm trained up. I'm never doing this again. And then I think I had a beer that night, and I think I had, I went out with some friends, and we had some drinks. And I woke up just feeling just, absolute dog crap. And, I opened my phone, and the first thing I saw on Instagram was this post that said, "You were not made to wake up mediocre." And it just kind of hit me. I was like, oh, I don't think I really missed out the last 4 months not drinking. So I'm not going to do this. And so I text my friends, let them know. And, when I'd tell people I didn't have a problem or anything. I wasn't an alcoholic. I just quit because of this. But then, throughout the years, you look back or you're telling stories and you're like, oh wait, that time I blacked out, and like, oh,
Yeah.
that other time and that other time. And yeah, I don't think that you have to crash your car and lose your job to
Yeah.
call yourself an alcoholic.
Yeah, no, I was, I drink enough to blind an ox on a Tuesday, but, oh no, I got sidetracked.
No, I was gonna say too, I'm really proud of Spencer. He's almost at a year
Uh-huh.
for himself, and so it was he's had his ups and downs over the last few years for sure. And his mom passed away a few years ago, and he went through a divorce,
Yeah.
and yeah, so thankful that things are starting to even out now.
Well, I used to always say I'm a social drinker, but, I noticed the guys in the band, they could have one or two beers, Me, I crack one beer, I'm going to have 8, 10,
That's what Spencer's like. He can't drink socially.
I just loved Rainier. I just loved Rainier. We used to drink cocktails in the band. We used to drink a lot of vodka cran, But then I just started just drinking tons of Rainier. And, I don't miss it, but I have been making Rainier beer bolo ties because those are a big seller. But I just couldn't be I just couldn't be like the guys where you have one or two beers,
Yeah.
And I really admire the guys, they don't have a problem. They, you can have one beer, two beer, whatever, they're fine.
Yeah.
Me, it's like, ah!
What are some things that you've noticed the last year since you've stopped? Like, have you had a lot less fun?
Oh no, fun's my middle name. No, I'm still doing the same things. I was drinking. My wife gets me some non-alcoholic beer. So I can make a half rack last a good week or two. Whereas before it might last a day and a half.
Yeah, I think we're lucky in this time. There's a lot of good NA beers out there.
Yeah, and I was drinking like Corona. I put lime in it, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I've had 3 or 4. Oh no, it's like, oh wait, it's non-alcoholic. And then Blue Moon with an orange. But then lately, she got me this half rack of Budweiser Zero, and it's fine. It just tastes like Budweiser Zero. So I have a couple.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm missing out on anything.
Have you had any Athletic, that brand?
No.
Athletic's pretty popular.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's actually the beer that Ricky went and got when I was at Amfest.
Oh, is it a stout beer or anything?
There's IPAs, there's Goldens, there's like a
I've had a few
Corona
of those.
type.
Ricky's given me, he quit drinking like 3-4 years ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and he's given me some different IPAs and stuff, and even I used to like a lighter one. I don't like a real thick black Hoffel, Groffel, or whatever. I always like something lighter.
I do once in a while, just to change it up. At the Shakedown in Bellingham, they have non-alcoholic Guinness.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have that just to switch it up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you brought us some art for our studio.
I was really into aliens. Yeah, so that's
great.
that's an alien throwing the goat.
Now I'm thinking about, you mentioned Vicious Badgers, your gang, group.
Yeah.
And that's also the name of the album. That album came out a few years ago. Are you guys?
Yes, that came. Let me
On
look
your
at
timeline.
Let me look at my paperwork. Yes, that came out. Oh, I didn't write it down. Oh no. Yeah, that came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane wrote the song "Vicious Badger." Everybody in the band is in the gang except Henry. Yeah, he wrote the song "Vicious Badgers," and then Ricky and I were always jumping mopeds, and so I had a friend that had some medical bills, so we decided to do a big jump and had an awesome picture. I'm like, we're gonna call the album "Vicious Badgers" because we already have a killer picture of me. Ricky jumped before me and he wrecked, and we caught him on fire.
Oh, so that picture wasn't like taken for the cover. It was just.
No, it was an event I
picture.
had. We
Got
raised
it.
like $500 for a friend.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have $20 to throw in, so it's like, well, we'll risk our lives. So, and then, and so Ricky wrecked, and I wrote it out, barely made it, and let's see. Ricky jumped over a flaming guitar and a shark and landed in a bunch of empty Rainier beer cans, like 60 of them. And then we caught Ricky on fire, and I jumped over him and landed in. And it had big jumbo marshmallows because when I'm in the air, they were supposed to roast off him. And I jumped over a toaster with what was it, potato bread? A toaster because the toaster was supposed to jump up and get burned, and a machete, 2 BB guns, and a hacksaw and a hatchet, something like that. And then I retired. From
My
the job.
point asking when the album came out, I'm always the one that, say you do this big life-changing thing, you write your book, you write your memoir. I'm the one that says the next day, okay, so what else? What are you doing now? Like when's your next book coming out, or when's your next album? So I'm just saying I love Vicious Badgers. I know all the songs really well. When are we getting a new album?
We've been talking about. It took a long time to do Vicious Badgers. I think because we used to just do a record, like every 2-3 years we would do a record, and then there was a long, like 10-year span where we didn't do anything. Then we finally went down to Everett.
Is that where you guys recorded?
Yeah, because we did Yellow Monster in 2012. So then, 10 years later, we went to Matt Leslie's in Everett. The very first practice we ever had, Shane and I, Matt was in Everett at Matt's house, and I had wrote a song called Knock It Off Bert. I played guitar on it, and then Matt had a song called, we just wrote it then. Matt played drums. Matt was the drummer. He said, okay, play that, and do that. And then Shane wrote the lyrics, and it was called Martian Girlfriend. And I have a bad bladder. I forgot what I was talking about now.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about when you recorded your guys' album.
Yeah, it was down in Everett about 3 years ago, Matt Leslie.
How many songs do you feel like you have now, like new songs?
Well, I know I have 3 on the back burner. Jerry has become Hitsville USA. He's been writing hits. Shane's always got a few. Henry will write one. Henry's got a new one called Stand Back. It's funky and sludgy, and I don't know. I have 3 from back in the day. I have one called Metal Detecting, Carryover, which is a fishing song. Oh, and friggin' Smelt Jigging. So I have 2 fishing songs and a metal detecting song. Jerry wrote a song about a friend of ours named Pat Aiken, and Pat is what is he? He's a home mortgage. He evaluates homes. I forget the name. What's the term? Anyway, he's always he goes to Japan and has a band. I don't know if he speaks Japanese, but he's either in White Rock up in Canada or Japan. He lives in Concrete, or he's on the San Juan Islands evaluating homes.
He does that for a job, and he's also in a band in Japan?
Yeah, and so Jerry wrote a song called, he's working on one. The lyrics are great. It's called Japat. Jerry writes songs. Yeah, so I don't know. We're kind of talking about it. It might take us a while to follow through because then we'll have, even though I have 3 songs, nobody knows how to play them yet. Jerry's got a song, so.
Right.
Shane's always got songs.
Well, I just want to say Fidalgo Street Studios, our recording studios, open to you guys.
Oh, awesome.
If you want to.
Wicked smart.
If you want to be our guinea pigs, I'm like, we have to record a band so we can figure out what to do. Well, thankfully, Pretty Much Nothing has a lot of songs and they don't have an album. So that's basically why we started the studio. So Pretty Much Nothing could record an album.
Well, cool. So, maybe we'll have to come out and record a song or 2.
Well, we talked about too, I don't know if on YouTube there's the Tiny Desk series, there's the Jam in the Van series.
Yeah.
I want to do a little series here. A band can come over because we do the radio too.
Yeah.
We could do an hour and a half of the radio show, and then we could say, all right, now we're gonna cut to a live performance over here. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, internet radio. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Heck to the yes.
Shane talked about going on tour to Montana.
That was
or maybe that was Blue Green. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I was just asking if you had any tour stories.
Now Memphis is a whole nother story. When we went and recorded at Sun Studio down in Memphis.
Fanny?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you guys did that.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Shane had been there before, and Shane and Holly had been down to Memphis, and Shane really wanted to record there, so we went to Sun Studio and recorded. We spent a week down there, and the first night was pretty sketchy. Shane and I. We got in some pretty sketchy situations I don't want to go into, but Yeah, no, we had a blast. We went to Graceland. Sun Studio, that's where Elvis got his start. We got to use Elvis's microphone. We weren't allowed to touch it. They said, all y'alls don't even think about touching it. Jerry Lee Lewis's piano was in there with cigarette burns on the top. And when we'd take a break, Shane and I would flip the bench up and we'd roll 4, 5, 6. We'd play dice. And we were the last band to record there as far as Joe Public goes. So anybody could book time. You could go in there, book time and go in there and play your trumpet and record. So we were the last band, as the public goes, to record there.
Oh, they stopped after?
Yeah. No, we could go back if
what
we
did you
wanted
guys do to... why
I
did
don't
they
know,
stop?
but all I know is they had probably the third rattiest bathroom in Memphis. In fact, Tom Petty had to use that bathroom because he was there after us.
Oh.
And the drum set, U2 recorded 1 or 2 songs there off their Shake, Rattle, and Hum record. So Johnny Cat was drumming then. He got to use that drum set. And a lot of history if you're not familiar with Sun Studios.
No, I'm not at all.
Oh, that's the birthplace of rock and roll.
Oh.
Yeah. Like the $1 Million Quartet. You had that picture of, what was it, Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and, did I say Johnny Cash, Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins? Yeah, the $1 Million Quartet. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, Sun Studio.
Did they first become famous when Elvis recorded there, and then that's what got them on the map?
Carl Perkins been recording there. Blue Suede Shoes. I think Johnny Cash had been there. It had been established for a little bit. And on the other side of town, you had Stax recording. That was like your Otis Redding, your Green Onions. I'm drawing a blank here.
Oh yeah,
Flipping crap. Booker T.
Yeah.
T. What's his name? Isaac Hayes. Yeah, so you had that on the other side of town also. That was kind of more popular back in the later 60s, early 70s. I could be wrong.
I mean, when you're going to record an album, I guess what are you looking for in a studio?
Well, the first album we did was in Everett at Matt Leslie's, and the second and third were at Shane's other house in Burlington, right next to where he lives now. The fourth one, what was the fourth one? What's our fourth one? Lake 16. Did we do that? Let's see. We did. That was Everett, and then Great Big Huge Company, Incorporated Limited, Unlimited Inc. was at Shane's. Lake 16 was at Shane's. Then we went to Memphis, and then we recorded Yellow Monster at Shane's new house, and then Vicious Badgers was...
Oh, you recorded at Shane's house?
Yeah, we did 3 records at Shane's. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he had a studio.
Yeah. When him and Holly built their house, he built this huge studio, and we did one album there, and it was just huge and really cool. But then we just started practicing up at Tim's and Custer, and so the studio's kind of stagnant water. Yeah. So no, we haven't practiced or recorded there in a long time.
And you guys practice on Tuesdays?
Yes.
I know that because I go to trivia in Lyman sometimes, and if there's no Fanny practice, Jerry shows up there.
Oh, okay.
Because Milan does trivia there.
His nephew, Milan. Yeah.
I know his wife Mickey, so they just live down the street.
Oh, way cool. Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you doing here, Jerry? And how do you know? So it was really cool to...
Jerry can run for mayor of Burlington. He's got a lot of knowledge.
He does, yeah.
And speaking of the guys, I just feel very fortunate being able to be with these guys because, Stagnant Water, they're my heroes, and Henry is just a legend. He's very humble and modest, very, very nice guy, very witty, very smart, very funny. And I can play guitar, but I'm kind of like Paul McCartney, where it's like, okay, John and George are better. I'll play bass. But I get to play. Henry and Shane are better at it. But I play a couple songs on guitar, so I get to feel like, all right, look at me, I can play guitar.
I have to say too, one of my favorite Fanny memories is when you guys played The Swamp. I got the poster right there.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
for Olive's band.
Watching Olive's band.
After school detention.
Yes.
Man, those kids, I think I probably told you there, but they were, Clay said they have to have a 20-minute set. And so I was timing their set. I'm like, oh, God, it's like 9 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
As you guys, that third song was 90 seconds. And Olive's like, oh, okay, we could probably cut that solo out that Cam did. I'm like, no, that's short. And she's like, oh, okay. So they literally played every song twice. No one noticed.
I've done that in the past with early bands, I would tell stories after every song, which is like, you don't do that. But, I'd play a couple songs over again,
Well, in the latest Swamp Show, it was on Friday with Nurhachi played, and then there was a couple other acts. And the first act was just a girl playing on keys, and then her friend played the ukulele, and they were both singing. She was so good. I was blown away, but she was so nervous. She looked like she was going to puke. And I told her, I'm like, that everyone in the audience wishes they could do this?
Yeah. And that's
literally get up on stage. I'm not saying write a song.
Sure,
get up on stage.
And that's just like, my first musical thing I did other than singing with my sisters was playing trumpet in a talent show in 4th grade or 5th grade. And I just bombed. We had bass drum, snare drum, and trombone. It was boogie, woogie, bugle boy rocks, your basic scale, dun, 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 dun. And then I started getting nervous. I started dun, 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 dun. I started playing faster and faster, and they couldn't keep up, and they all went, Quinn! And I hung my head down, and that's the picture they took in the talent show. That they put.
Oh, no.
And so I bombed. But what I'm getting at is, like, no matter what you do as far as a talent show or whatever, if you're on stage in front of people and you're like reading a poem, playing your clarinet, trying to start a band, telling jokes, whatever, it takes courage, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody'd get up and do it, like starting out, I was really into, playing the trumpet and ventriloquism when I was young. Shane was into the accordion and magic, because you're probably going to get chicks doing that. And then years later we combined our forces and, well, the joke's still going.
Does he ever do magic up on stage?
Yes. Years ago, funny you ask, years ago we would do spoon bending with the mind. Yes. And it's like, hey, do we have the spoons? Yeah. Because we're always doing shticks. And so, yes, we would do spoon bending of the mind.
Now, speaking of shticks, what's with the mask with the horns?
That's a luchador mask. That's,
okay.
Because wrestling, wrestling. Yeah.
See, Spencer watches WWE.
As he should.
Don't often see lots of masks on there, so I don't know about
the Hispanics are. It's really big in their culture.
Everyone wears masks.
Well, yeah. Have you ever seen Rey Mysterio Jr.'s face? No, because he's got a mask on. Woo! Yeah. So I mean,
I guess how did you incorporate that into a song?
Well, years ago, Evil Dave Squirrel-Faced Chiselhead gave me a wrestling mask, and I would wear it, and it had a big cross on it, and I called myself Saint Kickastifer. And then the other guys, I don't know, Tim had some, and so a couple times, like, we played this regatta in Oak Harbor, and we all had luchador masks on. Henry looked like a goat. And then I don't know what happened to the mask, and then Evil Dave Squirrel-Faced Chiselhead, he got me another one with the horns, and so I just would wear it on Whole Lotta Rosie when I sing that as a big highlight. I don't know why.
And is that also I think that's also the song you do push-ups?
I used to. Getting older now, yes. Shane and I used to do lots of kickouts. I don't jump. I can still do kicks. I can still kick. I can kick.
There are a few kicks at Shipwreck.
Yeah, but as far as doing scissor kicks and stuff like that.
The
splits, yeah. No, I don't. I'm getting older, and people always say, you guys are so energetic. I'm like, I wish I had a cot on stage to lay down.
I do like how when I was watching, before you guys went up on stage at Shipwreck, you were all hanging out off to the side, and you're all in your awesome uniforms. But I was noticing the footwear choices. Everyone has like dress shoes.
Not everybody.
Except Shane.
Shane's
Shane's on the Hoka train.
Shane is been on the Hoka train.
Is he sponsored by Hoka? I didn't know this.
Well, I'm not supposed to talk about.
It's true if it's on here. So
okay,
Shane
yeah.
is sponsored
and,
by Hoka.
he was sponsored by Skechers. And speaking of sponsorship, the urban legend goes years ago when we first started. Shane and I did like a phone interview out of Spokane with Red Bull or something like that, and I forgot what happened, but we didn't like Red Bull. Nobody had really heard about it, and it tasted just like Red Bull. Hate it. So it's like, man, I wish Hostess would sponsor us, because Shane and I we were really into blackberry Hostess fruit pies, and like I'd give him like 9 for his birthday.
Yeah.
And I'd go, wait, can I have 3 back? I was supposed to be talking about something else.
No, we were just talking about your athletic abilities on stage.
Oh, yes, we used to be very athletic.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the more I need to be on terra firma. I need to be grounded. And, like I said, I'm an accident-prone Eagle Scout. Over the last 3 years, I was in the hospital for all sorts of things. So I just really need to keep an even keel. Like, I'm eating a turkey pot pie. Next thing I know, I need an operation for some esophageal thing. I wrecked my moped. I broke 3 ribs, ruptured an adrenal gland. The doctor said, I've been doing this 40 years. I've never seen that happen.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, ruptured an adrenal gland. Yeah, concert arm. I was throwing a colonoscopy. What else went wrong? I can't even think. It was a hobby I had. Like you say, I take selfies of my parents. I was taking selfies I was always in the hospital. Being an accident-prone Eagle Scout. I almost cut my finger off, doing art. I know there's a couple big ones I just can't think of because, I'm pretty nervous, right now.
Okay.
Hey.
Wait, I was going to say, has Fanny ever done an acoustic set?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Where?
We did one at the Eagles years ago. One time Shane and I played...
Because you could sit down in a chair.
Yeah.
And do that.
We have, like Shane and I one time did 2 acoustic guitars and a drum machine at a campfire. We have played Matt Phillips' daughter had a party. We were kind of semi-acoustic, We have done some stuff here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking you could easily sit down for that. That'd be a nice, relaxing set.
Yes.
Yeah. So, new album, hopefully, in the next couple of years when you guys... figure out where you want to record, and then just let us get this Pretty Much Nothing record done, and then we'll know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then you guys can come over. Because honestly, I kind of smile to myself whenever I say Fidalgo Street Studios, because Shane talked about Fidalgo Street.
Big Bad Bill.
On his,
That's a true story.
Yeah.
Another true story.
Yeah. So, I think he said, I forget what address it was, but it was somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Bad Bill. That's our only ballad. In fact, I lived in Woolley one time on Sterling Street years ago when I was like 19.
Yeah.
And I had a pit bull.
What was your pit bull's long name?
Sid Caesar Vicious, Paul Orendorff, Mr. Wonderful.
Well, I'm hanging this alien up in my classroom, so.
Oh, great. Awesome.
It's funny. I hear.
And I think I messed the hand up. I think the index finger, let's see.
Oh, the rock symbol?
Let's see.
Is your thumb supposed to be out? Maybe is that why?
Well, you throw the goat, but I think
Oh.
I think I reversed it. Maybe he's looking in a mirror. I think the index finger is supposed to. Oh wait, no, I did it right. Okay, never mind.
I think it's great.
But yeah, I'm into aliens.
I like it.
Then I'm into cyclopses. Now wildflowers, planting wildflowers.
And who knows what it'll be tomorrow?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. You're keeping Tracy on your
I'm
toes.
shifting gears. I shift gears. I'm like, oh, now I got to get into music. Okay, quit painting. Okay, now I'm into music.
But it's almost like I talk about that too, how I don't have a to-do list. I have a to-don't list. So there's 20 things. I need to run today. I need to do dishes, laundry. I need to write. I need to do podcasts. Say there's 20 things. What 19 things am I going to avoid? I really don't want to do a podcast. I'll go for a run. So it's not like I want to run. I just don't want to do all this other stuff.
I feel so much better when I cross off my list. Like yesterday, I threw away 3 pair of shoes, which is very hard to do because like my wife will throw away a plastic coffee container. I need to take it out of the garbage and put it in the shed with the other 4 I have. So, yes.
Well, I will encourage people to go to I know there is a Fanny Alger Facebook page somewhere. There is, I think.
Somewhere.
Anyway.
Or you can just call me.
I was going to say, I'll leave Quinn's number in the episode. You could just call him. No, what is it? What's the Mertz taxi number? 360.
708-6358. Oh, wait. 708-6358. Oh, it's 360.
Those, I don't know what the name of the drum is. I should. Those deep drums on that part. Oh, that's my favorite.
Is it?
So good. Yeah.
Oh, Tim Splat will love to hear that.
I can't wait to interview Tim. He's going to be great. And Henry.
Oh, yeah. Fine gentleman.
Yeah.
Fine gentleman. Tim's bonkers. Henry's very wise.
Yeah, I saw him at Lopez. I didn't know that he was in Moss Tones.
You never know what Henry's going to do.
Yeah, he's like, I got to leave. I got a show with Fanny Eldred at the Lincoln tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. He's in the Moss Tones, and then he's not, then he is. Whatever Henry wants to do, he does.
All right. Well, I'll tell people to head out to the next Fanny show, and if they want some art, you'll have some available there. And thanks for coming over, Quinn.
Okay, I want to do my Canadian honker goose call. Are you ready?
Is this how we're ending the episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Is that thank you and goose?
Canadian honker. Well, you're from Canada, you know it. Now that's calling
No
Pamela Anderson down to the podcast.
No one's supposed to know about
from Ladysmith. No, she's going out with Liam Neeson now.
Is she?
Yeah, they're courting.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know
that. You need to watch Inside Edition.
I do want to go see the new Naked Gun. It looks amazing.
Is he in it?
He's the lead guy.
Oh, he's the Leslie Nielsen.
And she's in it too. That's probably they started talking on the set.
Well, I didn't see that on Inside Edition. See? Now we know.
You came here for celebrity news, folks.
Yes. All right. No matter where you go, you're there.
Thanks, Quinn.
Thank you.